I'm Mickey Zeta, and I'm glad to have you here. It's Wednesday night, live with Mickey. And guess what? You saw my little thing above my today's video, and it says, "How is renovating a house like creating your own authentic life?" And I'm going to tell you, because we've been renovating our house. This is a tool I've been using. I don't know what it's called, but I use it to pull nails out, and it's good for like loosening sheetrock and all that stuff. And of course, you know this is a hammer. This is a well-worn hammer, and that's how you're going to feel when you get to the point of having created your authentic life. When we come through domestic abuse, you know, we feel like a I felt like a worn out house. I felt like my life was kind of a mess, and I was all kind of crumbled up. I had lived in abuse for a long time, as you know, and it doesn't matter how long, because when you get to the end, you're still not yourself. It doesn't matter if it's a short period of time or a long period of time like me, and some people have lived in abuse even longer than I did, which was 34 years. It's a long time. But here's what I'm going to tell you. While we're working on ourselves, well, let me back up. Don't I always just back up a little bit? Here's the deal. You've heard me say over and over, if we don't change, nothing changes. When we change, everything changes. And that's the hugest lesson you'll ever learn. Hugest. Hugest. How's that for a good word? I've been working in construction all day long, so my brain is a little bit frazzled. But I'm going to tell you, what I'm talking about, that renovating a house is the same as creating your own authentic life. There is such a huge parallel there. It's a great metaphor, because we have to excavate. We have to tear things out. We have to pull out those walls. And you're going to find things. You know what we found in this house? We found a 1962 baseball card, and I don't know the guy's name, it didn't matter, but on the back it had Mickey Mantle listed and all those guys that played ball in 1962. Unfortunately, a mouse had kind of eaten the edges, and there's probably no value in the card. My point is that we excavated something there, just like we do when we're working on creating our own selves. When we're creating our own selves, as we're digging and as we're pulling off the plywood and moving things around, we discover all kinds of memories that we forgot all about, like that 1962 baseball card. It's a great metaphor, I think, because some of it has been eaten by the mice. Some of the things we remember and some of the things we're trying to work on, it's not all there. But it's our choice and it's our option to continue moving forward, to keep excavating, to keep doing the best we can to create who we are, to live the life that we want to live. Hi, Jan. Glad to have you here. So that is how renovating a house is the same as excavating our authentic lives. And I say excavating, and people say, what does that mean? What does excavating mean? Next time you hear that word excavating and it's applied to personal growth, think about this. When you're excavating a house, that's the same as excavating our house, our body, the people that we are. We're digging out. We're digging out. We're throwing away the things that don't work anymore, or we're adjusting the things that do work. Yeah, we maybe, in our house, we're turning one little alcove into a bathroom. Well, you can do that too. You can find a spot in your life, in your head, in your psyche, where it's been this, but you want it to be that. And you have the option to do that. Isn't that exciting? That is the best part. We have the option to change who we are. Not only is it an option, it's a responsibility, because you've heard me say over and over, if we don't change, nothing changes. And I'm going to say Wayne Dyer's thing again. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. We walked all over this little house. We wanted a second bathroom. We wanted to figure out how to do it. And finally, we found an area that was big enough, that made sense, that we could put a shower stall and a toilet and a sink in. So now we're going to have our second bathroom. Our lives are the same way. We find something that we've been doing one way, and we say, you know what? I'm not going to do it that way anymore. I'm going to do it this way. I'm turning that idea into a new bathroom. See what I'm talking about? And you know what? As much fun as it is to renovate this house, that's how much more fun. It's so much more fun to renovate ourselves, to create the life we want to live. And do you know whose responsibility that is? To change me is my responsibility. Nobody else is going to do that. Nobody else. And there's not a knight on a charging white horse that's going to come along, or a king or a prince. It's not going to happen in real life. Okay, so it happened for that actress and she's marrying a prince, but generally that doesn't happen. So we're responsible for our lives. We have to get things together, get our house in order, build our house the way we want it. That's my lesson. And please think about that as you go through the week. Jan said, and we get to choose what we want. That's exactly right. So we do. We get to choose what we want. It is a good metaphor. So when you're working on yourself, think you're creating your own house. You're renovating your house. You're sort of building something new, but the house is there. You are there. Good things have happened. Bad things too. But again, that's your perspective. So turn those bad things into good things. Turn that empty space into a nice bathroom, or what's that called? A nursery. A nursery. Do whatever you want with your life. It's your choice and it's your responsibility. I'm so glad to have you here tonight with me. This is Wednesday Night Live with Mickey. I'll be back on Sunday Night Wine with Mickey. And I'm going to encourage you, please, to go to my website, survivingabusenetwork.com. There are a lot of live videos, podcasts, blog posts that you can read. There's a lot of good information there. There's also that a free checklist that you can download, and it's Was I Really Abused? So that's the things you can do on my website. I'm going to remind you, too, that I now have a Patreon page. It's patreon.com/Surviving Abuse Network. And it's sort of like GoFundMe. It'll help Patreon funds, people that become patrons of Surviving Abuse Network will help me pay the bills that I do incur every single month to keep the videos going, to keep the podcasts going, to write the blogs, to do what I'm doing, to talk to people and help them out. If you want to, just look it at. There's no obligation. Go to patreon.com/Surviving Abuse Network. Check it out. There's some things posted there that I've written. There's some live videos on there too. So there you go. I could use the support. I appreciate it. And all the women that are helped through Surviving Abuse Network, they appreciate it too. I will be back on Sunday night. See you then.